Onto some market news as well then, of course. Something we have been following quite prodigiously as well, if I can get just my full-on bearings with regards to the numbers then, hopefully, which we'll be able to pick up on in just a moment. Liberty coming out with their set of earnings, of course, then today then as well. And they're really just making note then of how things have certainly been difficult. A loss of around 2.2 billion when it comes to their earnings picture. Not necessarily too great for them on that front. So we'll hopefully get things going there. An establishment, of course, of that COVID-19 pandemic reserve of around 2.1 billion as well. Pandemic, another rather normalized operating earnings before COVID-19 reserve was 633 million rand as well. Capital adequacy ratio at 1.83%. Group equity value per share as well. Good numbers there. Total group assets under management, 725 billion rand. Let's hopefully chat now to CEO of Liberty, David Munro, joining us on the line. David, thank you so much for the time. You tried to put away as much as possible, of course, in this very difficult time. I suppose you can't really say whether it was enough or not, right?
Yeah, good afternoon, Arabella, and good afternoon to all of your viewers. These are incredibly difficult times where we're all working with imperfect information, and we're trying to get a sense of how this pandemic will unfold. In a company like ours, though, we have to be ready to support our customers at these very profound moments of human vulnerability. That's the role that we play in and the purpose that we serve. And so, yes, this pandemic represents a time when we need to stand by our customers. As you said, we've set aside, it's actually 3 billion rand of money that is set aside now as a pandemic reserve to support our customers in this time as they present valid claims as a consequence of this virus.
I mean, you don't necessarily get too affected by it, but things like the business interruptions that some of the short-term lenders have certainly, or short-term insurers have certainly been suffering with, have been, a thorn in and amongst the insurance sector as well. How much impact does COVID-19 in that regard play with regards to your business and help our viewers understand perhaps where your business sits in and around the insurance sector as well? And amongst other things like life insurance and the like also. Yeah,
Arabella, absolutely. I think it is a situation that we've been watching very, very closely as it's unfolded. Liberty has no exposure to the business interruption insurance category. We are only a long-term insurance provider. So while we watch that, we have no particular view except to say that I think one's reputation is really critical, and so you've got to make sure that you make the decisions that support the promises you've made to customers. In our instance, that really comes to the fore when tragically somebody passes away, and therefore in this instance of COVID-19, when people pass away from COVID-19, we will be there if they have a policy with Liberty to support their family and to make sure that we do what was committed to in the policy.
David, where to from here, I suppose, with regards to, of course, capital expenditure, any form of looking at where exactly you can grow the business as well? What is it that you're perhaps looking at? I know it's a difficult time, of course, with COVID-19. Yeah. What is your primary responsibility, perhaps, at this time?
No, that's exactly right. Thank you. And the key for us is that we have a financially strong business, notwithstanding the losses that you acknowledged. Mostly those are because of the pandemic reserve that we've set aside, but having sustained that accounting treatment and those losses in the first half, we are still financially strong. Our capital ratio is 1.83 times. That is within our appetite range of 1.5 to 2 times. And so we're very focused on making sure that we remain open for business, supporting our customers and advisors, continuing to invest in our business and achieving our strategic goals while being there to support our customers and, in fact, the community that we serve during these times of crisis.
Fantastic. David, thank you so much for the chat as well then this afternoon. All the best with it. We'll hopefully chat again at year end and get a sense of how things are faring there too. David Munro, the CEO of Liberty, joining us on the line there. We'll take a short break.